Welcome to the leading podcast for long-term weight management. Subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an episode. You can connect with Jenny on all social media channels. You can also sign up to the newsletter to receive frequent content and tips for weight loss success.
Hey guys, welcome to the Power Over Food podcast. I am your host, Jenny McDonald. I'm an eating behaviour coach, a certified health and life coach, and now also a Helix Method mentor. So I work with mainly professional ladies who are sick of dieting, who have most things in their life aligned and feel successful at most things, but just can't crack their relationship with food. And I help them to realign that relationship with food and with themselves. So, how are you all? We are now in December. It is finally the proper Christmas countdown. I know I've been counting down for a while. I do love the festive season, and having a little one, it's hard not to start early. We're going to talk about Christmas and that overindulgence time, but before we do, I just wanted to let you know that before Christmas, I'm actually running my final 3-day masterclass, which is completely free, and it's the final one of the year, and this one is Align to Self-Love. Now, the reason I've chosen to do this one on the run up to Christmas is, for a start off, it's always a really busy season and we don't tend to have time for ourselves or give ourselves much self-love, self-worth, self-respect at this time, because we're just busy doing everything for everybody else and making sure that everybody else has a perfect Christmas. But also because I know that running a change your relationship with food challenge or masterclass at this time of the year may not be so appealing because we all buy into that kind of indulgence at Christmas time, which I'll talk about in a moment. So this 3-day masterclass will be the first time that I am publicly sharing methods from the Helix method, sharing techniques that I've now trained to deliver. And these are all about aligning ourselves, operating on the right frequency, the right vibration, so that we can call in what we want and experience what reality we want to, and create an identity of somebody that we want to be. If this is of interest to you, and I spoke with the creator of the Helix Method, Louisa Havers, I think it was podcast 28, 29, it was last month, and she shared a lot about her journey and the Helix Method. So if you haven't listened to that, go and listen to that, and I'm sure it will interest you and you'll be dying to attend this 3-day masterclass. So when is it? It's going to be on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, the 13th to the 15th of December. So pop the date in your diary. The classes will be at 12 noon, so lunchtime UK time. However, if you can't make the live classes, the replays will be available till the 20th of December. Now, these are not happening in the normal Becoming You Facebook group. These are going to be in a separate alignment group that I've created just for the challenge. It will stay open until the 20th of December, and then I will close the group down. And this is just to create a safe space for those people that are really interested in this way of working and really, really ready to align to self-love. So I'm not going to pop it in the main Facebook group because I know there's a lot of people in there that this might not be for them. This is specifically if you want to look at the Helix Method and how I work within that. So let's talk about Christmas. Oh, sorry, if you want to take part in the challenge, I'll pop the links in the show notes. Come and find me on social media. The links will be shared quite regularly. And come and sign up for the challenge. So let's talk about Christmas. As I said before, I absolutely love Christmas. I love this time of year. But even I, after all of these years of working out that relationship with food, even I fall into that trap of overindulgence at Christmas time. I mean, I've just started Costa Mondays with my little girl. We decided on the run up to Christmas, we're going to do Costa Mondays, where we're going to go and have the special Costa hot chocolates, latte things, and drink those on a Monday after school. So we're a couple of weeks into that, and now I've kind of realised that maybe a cup of tea next time would be a better option, because I come home ready for dinner and I'm just full with hot chocolate. Anyway, my point being is it's okay if we buy into the social indulgence of Christmas, but it's not okay when it kind of falls into that dieting mentality of, well, it's December, I've blown it, what's the point? And I might as well just eat everything I can get my hands on until January the 1st. And I think this is where the trap we fall into, because of so many years of dieting and that whole being good and bad around food. So instead of thinking, well, yeah, I'm going to have a hot chocolate on a Monday with my daughter. It's Costa Mondays for this month, and that's okay. It's whether you then come home and think, oh, well, I've had a hot chocolate, so I've been really rubbish today, so I might as well eat X, Y, and Z this evening. And then you get up Tuesday and you think, well, I've kind of started the week off on a bit of a rubbish note, so I might as well eat X, Y, and Z today. And, that spiral that we all know far, far too well. I'm sure I've seen last year's shared on social media about they share it every year, the statistics of how much people gain weight over the Christmas period. And I think it's between £5 and £10 per person, which has become completely normal to do that. And to be honest, if that's over a couple of days because you've eaten some rich food, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then you just go back to your normal eating, that will drop, that will realign in a few days. But again, what us serial dieters tend to do is we go, oh gosh, I'm so rubbish, I feel so gross, I've eaten that much and the scales have gone up that much, and therefore I need to do this. So then come January, we're either beating ourselves up and we go into the new year feeling rubbish, or we're starting some crazy diet again and thinking, that's it, this is the last year I'm going to do this. And then we set ourselves up to fail because we aim so high, aim to lose a stone in 2 weeks, and it's not always achievable, or we embark on something that maybe we don't really want to do. And if we don't really want to do it, then inevitably at some point we're going to pull ourselves back into line and not do it because it's not aligned with what we really, really want to do. Overindulging at Christmas to me is, it's okay if it doesn't make you feel mentally and physically naff. Just for example, for many years, by New Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve I always think is a really nice evening, whether you're in or out, and for many people we get dressed up. But I can remember New Year's Eve after New Year's Eve, even since I've lost weight and had a better relationship with food, getting to New Year's Eve and feeling pretty rubbish. And I've got a picture from a few years ago, we did a fancy dress, and I look at it and all I can see is I felt awful on that night. I felt so bloated and so lethargic and, in that food coma that we get ourselves into from overeating. And I think from that year, and that was only 2 or 3 years ago, I thought, I'm not going to continue to do this to myself. It's not a pleasant place to be in. My skin was bad, you're spotty. And that's all because I was still stuck in that dieting cycle, albeit at a relatively healthy weight, but thinking that I'm just going to have whatever I want over Christmas because I don't care, because I know I can pull it back into line. So what's really helped me, and I'd like to share it with you, is it's like treating every single meal in December as a separate occasion, a separate standalone event. You can do this by going through your calendar if you want, or you can just do this on a day-to-day basis. But just think, if you are going out for a meal, that is one meal, that is just one event, and you can choose whatever you want on that day, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean it affects the whole of December. And if you think about how many meals there are in December, what are there? There's 31 days in December, and there's 3 meals a day. So that's 93 meals in December, okay? So if you're eating 93 meals, I would hazard a guess that maybe at most 10 of them are going to be meals out or Christmas Day, Boxing Day, even if you said 15. So even if you have 15 big meals, social occasions, gatherings, whatever you want to call it, that is still 78 other meal times where you are not in a situation where you might feel you need to overindulge. I think when you look at it like that, out of 93 meals, there's 15 occasions, you still have 78 opportunities to eat a meal of your choice, if you like, because I know when we're eating out, it's not always what we would choose to eat, depending, especially at this time of year, because I think sometimes the set menus are really set and you might think, I don't really fancy another Christmas dinner. You know, I've already had two this week, but you're meeting another group of friends and it's another Christmas thing that's been arranged. Sometimes we're almost forced into eating food that we necessarily wouldn't choose. If you see that all of those other opportunities are around those events are an opportunity for you to nourish your body, for you to choose what food is going to give you energy for the festive season, that is going to serve you well, that is going to nourish you and make you feel great through the festive season. So that's one way of looking at it. Now, when you're out, any day, but when you're out in particular, because I always fall into this trap, go into the meal aiming to eat until you're satisfied. Because quite often when we're in restaurants, we have more than one portion, or there is a larger portion than you'd normally have, or there's sides. If you're aiming to eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed, then you are more likely to come away from that meal thinking that was really enjoyable and I had enough. Okay, that's what we're aiming for, having enough. But what happens is quite often is we continue to eat because there's lots of food on the table and we eat until we're stuffed or over full. I like to think about this on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 being that kind of bloated, uncomfortable feeling where you want to go home and lay on the bed and undo your clothes. And I think we're aiming for about a 6 or a 7. So we're aiming to feel nicely satisfied. Our body's had what it needs. We've enjoyed the taste, the texture, the pleasure of the food, the pleasure of eating, but we're not stuffed. And if we do that, again, in terms of nourishing our body, in terms of having a healthy relationship with food, in terms of mentally not beating ourselves up, we are going to be in a much better place. We're going to come away from that meal and think that was really lovely, rather than I wish I hadn't have eaten so much. So aim for eating till you're satisfied, not stuffed. The other thing I invite you to do is before each social event is take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to just visualize yourself. And I like to do this with music, but visualize yourself and kind of almost play through what's going to happen in your head. So you visualize yourself going to the event, meeting your friends, catching up with everybody, having a lovely time, and then visualize that meal coming out and you eating that meal and enjoying and savouring the taste, and then you leaving some of that meal, you stopping because you are completely satisfied, you've eaten till that number 7 on the scale and you feel great. And then visualise yourself popping the napkin on the top and just getting back into the conversation and enjoying your evening, and then visualise yourself coming away from the event feeling great. And the reason I do this is it's what we call a mental rehearsal. And this is what athletes use when they're running a race. They visualize themselves running that race and winning that race. And this can be like so powerful. So please do give this one a go. It's really, really worth trying. Now, the other thing is self-love and self-worth through the month of December. I said it at the start, but it is a really busy month, December, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of occasions, but there's also a lot of organising to do. And if you're a parent, you might be doing Elf on the Shelf, you might have Christmas nativities to attend. There's just so much going on alongside wrapping presents and organising dinner and family time and catching up with people you haven't seen for so long. And it's really important just to try and still diary in some time for you, because we cram our diaries with things for everybody else and we sit up late wrapping presents. But what about you? Where do you fit into all of this? So what I recommend you do is go through the rest of December and pop in your diary just half an hour slots, if that's all you can manage, even 15-minute slots for you to just stop, for you to just meditate or go for a walk or plan your food or sit and have a coffee and read a magazine. It's about giving yourself that time through the month so that you are not going stir crazy and you are not relying on food as your source of comfort to get you through a busy month. That is one of the reasons why I created the challenge for this month. It really is about self-love, self-worth, self-care. We need to be treating ourselves like we would our best friend or our child, and valuing ourselves and caring for ourselves in the same way we would anybody else. And the last thing is, don't aim for perfection, okay? If you are following some sort of eating regime at the moment and you have days off because of Christmas occasions, be okay with that. If you're okay with it, and if you accept that there are times when we overeat and that is okay, it is much easier to carry on with whatever plan you're following, whether it's a plan you've created yourself or another diet or something. That I'm very open to you doing what works for you. But I think where we tend to fall down is we have a day off and we beat ourselves up and we think we've ruined it. And then that spirals. So just treat it as that one-off event, that 10 occasions in the month or 15 occasions in the month where you will have a meal that is not part of the ideal 93 meals in December. So they are just some of my thoughts about indulgence at Christmas time. I know I recorded one last Christmas, so it might be worth you listening to that one again as well. Yeah, I will do my best to get another podcast out before Christmas or between Christmas and New Year. And my focus now is on this 3-day challenge. There is so much I want to share with you through this challenge. It is one of the most exciting things that I have offered my followers, my clients, for free. So please do take advantage of it. Please come along. Please join the container that I've created, the special Facebook group just for this challenge. It will only be open until the 20th of December before I close it down for Christmas. So I look forward to seeing you at the challenge. And yes, if you don't listen again before Christmas, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. But as I say, I'll do my best to touch base with you before we all enjoy Christmas dinner. Have a great day, evening, wherever you're listening from. And as always, I love hearing from you. Feel free to drop me a message, say hi, leave me a review, and share this podcast with anyone you think may benefit from listening. Take care, guys. Bye.